Everyone knows that growing your own food is one of the best things you can do. It's great for you, mind, body, and soul. Sadly, not everyone has access to a nice piece of land or a lovely yard where they can grow things. Some folks, like me, live in tiny, north-facing basement apartments. Not exactly what you would think of as prime food growing location. Thankfully, there are lots of very simple, very affordable things you can do to grow tasty, healthy food no matter where you are. In this video, we're going to take a look at a few simple things you can do right away to improve your food security, and then we're going to meet the person who inspired me to start growing food inside. Are you ready? Excellent. Let's do this. Sprouts are, without question, the absolutely easiest, most productive thing you can grow, regardless of where you are. And I'm going to convince you to give it a try. So, what exactly are sprouts? Well, sprouts are the tiny seedlings that first appear when seeds start to grow. The most common sprouts to grow are alfalfa, radish, broccoli, lentils, and peas. But there are literally dozens, if not hundreds, of varieties available, all with different tastes and textures. I've been growing my own sprouts for almost 40 years, and my favorite is a spicy lentil mix. I love them. I use them on salads, sandwiches, wraps, and as a side garnish every day. Okay, so why should you grow sprouts? Well, here we go. Here's my sales pitch. Sprouts are super easy to grow. They require no sunlight, electricity, or fancy equipment. Literally just a jar, a mesh lid, clean water, and seeds. That's it. Jar, lid, water, seeds. Sprouts are also super fast to grow, high yield, and very economical. 1 tablespoon of seeds will turn into roughly 3 cups of sprouts in just 6 days. That's a fresh crop every 6 days for roughly 25 cents worth of seeds. Kind of a sweet deal, actually. Okay, so you're not convinced yet, so they are easy and fast. Well, sprouts are also really healthy. I mean, go ahead and Google it. The vast number of health benefits that come from eating fresh organic sprouts daily is very impressive. And, just another reason to grow sprouts. Okay, so if you're not convinced, I got one more reason for you. Final reason why you should start growing sprouts right now. They are so tasty. And during long winter months when other greens are really hard to get, they're a welcome, fresh, crunchy addition to your daily menu. And they grew right on your counter in a jar. So sprouts are tasty, easy, cheap, and healthy. Literally, growing sprouts in a jar is the single easiest thing you can do to improve your food security. And I'm kind of hoping I've just convinced you to at least consider it. So, if you're curious, there are loads of great videos and websites out there that can show you the step-by-step and all kinds of ways that you can use them. So if you're ready, think about it. Growing sprouts, #1 way to improve food security. Yay! So, if growing sprouts in a jar is the first thing you should do to improve your food security, the second most important thing you can do is to start thinking outside the box when it comes to where you can grow food. Or, I guess more precisely, thinking outside the yard. In terms of growing food, that means looking for ways to turn unusual spaces into gardens. Last summer, I decided to put that idea to the test, and the result was awesome. Our apartment building has huge old trees shading the entire south side, and the north side is bounded by a parking lot. So basically, we had almost nowhere that got any amount of sunlight. I say almost because there was one spot, a section of fence along the parking lot, about 12 feet long, and it got full sun for pretty much the full day. It wasn't much, but we decided it was worth a try. So we started out growing seedlings inside, using very tiny, very affordable LED lights that worked surprisingly well. We then moved the plants outside, and the result was our garden wall of joy. As you will note from the photos, we grew a wide range of veggies, and even though I knew very little and made lots of mistakes, the plants did quite well, and we ate loads of tasty veg all summer long. In fact, because the fence was so sheltered, it turned out to be a great spot for veggies that love heat, such as basil, peppers, beans, cucumbers, lettuce, and tomatoes. The wall also turned into a great place for neighbors to connect in the evening as folks watered the plants and chatted about life. And in the end, we grew not only food, we grew something more important. We grew community, and that was an unexpected and very welcome harvest. So, the second most important thing you can do to improve your food security is to think outside the yard when it comes to where you can grow food. Okay, so we've talked about how you can improve your food security just by growing sprouts and thinking outside the yard. Now, let's talk about why it's so important that you grow something. And the very best person to do that is Grace. I met Grace through a food exchange program several years ago and started following her efforts to grow food through her Facebook posts. Like me, Grace was new to growing food and had limited space to work with, but her persistence and success inspired me to not only start, but to keep going. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Grace to let her tell her story and why she believes it's so very important that we all grow something. I asked Grace how she got started growing food and what was one of the first things that she grew.
I started over with the little plants like this. This is the orange plant that I seeded from seed. So it's growing pretty well.
That's amazing.
And I have another seeded plant. It's a lemon tree from a lemon. I had the apple plant, apple seeded years ago. I shared with my friends, and one of my friends I gave her a lemon tree 2 years ago. Her lemon tree now is about 1 meter high.
Next, Grace and I talked about how growing food made her feel.
I've been growing indoor plants. I love them. They're really nice. They always give me back joy of the day to looking at them.
Grace and I talked about a number of things, but when I asked her why it was so important that we grow food, her answer absolutely blew me away.
I had cut 2 of them last night, these peppers. It was wonderful. And it's a hot pepper. I love it.
That's awesome. What do you love the most about growing food inside your place?
See the green in winter.
Oh, that's beautiful.
When you get up early in the morning and I come out to turn the light on and I see bright greens in my apartment. And I have son that I cook most of the time, and I would like my sons see those greens and growing their own food, fresh food, and for in the future they do the same to their family. That's what I want for my sons too. Want them to have good food, want them to make good food for their own family in the future. I think that would be the beginning for them to just like to see them green in the lifetime. So I think it helps for my sons.
I think that's wonderful. You are truly amazing, Grace. You've inspired me and you've inspired, I know, others. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
You're welcome. All the time. Thank you.
Grace is awesome, and she totally gets it. She understands that growing food is important on many levels and for many reasons, and she does a great job sharing her gifts with others. There really are some very simple things you can do to improve your food security, and I'm hoping this video inspires you to try something new. Thanks so much for listening to me ramble about food and enjoy growing sprouts, and about thinking about new ways to grow food outside the yard. Be sure to check out our other episodes and take care of one another. See you soon.